Okay, so with the new job, it's been interesting the last couple days. So the last couple of days on a swing shift have been kind of interesting. So with a government job, for some reason, they enjoy their death by PowerPoint. So that's kind of what my last couple of days have been filled with. Oh, the next few days, I guess, should be a bit better, but it's been interesting. So, for those that aren't accustomed to it, death by PowerPoint is basically where they break every rule of like office PowerPoint presentation, and many government positions are notorious for doing this. They have trainings and briefings and everything on like how to do a PowerPoint properly, but they always violate those rules. So what ends up happening is you get the glazed over look and everything. And so after being through like all of that, basically this is like going on for about 8 hours of straight PowerPoint for the most part. So I mean, it's not so bad. It's like there's some presentations that are like only 5 slides long, but you're also considering that you're going from presentation to presentation to presentation. So the when you hit the 61 slide presentation, it really doesn't seem all that bad because it's just a bunch of slides in a sea of other slides that they have to take time to pull up the other presentation for. So, if you're ever in like such a position, remember that you don't want to do that kind of a thing. Especially like if your orientation and training takes like 2 days, that's just like the worst thing you can put people through. And many of the people doing these presentations kind of acknowledge that, like, yeah, this is pretty horrible, I know. But it's what we have to do. Oh. But then, other than that, so what's interesting is they talk about turning it into a career. And I'm kind of in a position that I'm not there for that. I've got other plans for long term, but they're like always pushing the whole career thing. It's like stay in a federal position or government position, especially if you're working in the federal government. So, in a federal position, it's kind of a cushy job because, unlike, well, in the private sector, there are a lot of areas where is based a lot on merit. In the government, it almost sounds like there's a little bit more leeway for that. And in a way, it's kind of sad. But at the same time, for your first little bit, they are kind of like looking at you really hard. So it may not be as cushy for about the first year during that probationary period. But if you're in it for the long term, then it does turn into kind of a cushy position because many of the people where I've picked up have been there for multiple years, like multiple decades. And they've got kids that they're bringing, their own kids that are coming in to work as well. And so, of course, you've got all the other rules and everything going on. So, family usually doesn't talk with family or sit with family. But that is one of those things. And like I mentioned, it's not exactly my long term plan. So I've been picking up these different jobs and stuff along the way. I've been looking at ways that I can avoid doing that. And so one such way that I'm looking at is I'm eyeballing right now some XMPP server programs that I can set up on my VPS. For those that don't know, XMPP is basically a chat protocol. And it is one of those decentralized ones, so you can chat with someone on on another server and communicate just fine. It's kind of like the Matrix network in that sense, or any of the other decentralized services. But for a little bit, Facebook actually used that protocol for their chats. The nice thing about XMPP is there are a number of them that are pretty light on the chat. you have a whole range of applications that are at your disposal that you can use. Either A, that are really simple to install, B, like may seem really hard to install and are very configurable. So you've got a whole bunch of options with it, and it should be pretty easy to set up. What may seem like a downside is that I'm looking at putting it behind a paywall. And the reason for that is, one, I really don't see the reason to track you guys. Two, having a bit more to cover server costs and be able to upgrade the VPS and add more stuff. I'd really like to do that so that I can add more perks to the paywall, and that way you can take advantage of more things. And I've mentioned some of those things that I've been looking at adding before. So by adding it behind the paywall, it allows me to cover those costs for upgrading and making those changes. In addition to that, I will be looking at like referral perks. So if you bring a friend in as well, you can get special perks. I haven't quite decided what that is. If you've got any suggestions, they're greatly appreciated. But yeah, of course, I think the simplest way to kind of do that is I'll update Subscribestar and that whatnot as when I add the stuff or as I go. So if you're keeping an eye on that, and if you jump on early, I'm not sure what I can do, but for those early adopters, it's greatly appreciated. That's all I can really do at this very moment. But again, this allows me to not need to go do those things that I don't want to do, but at the same time, it allows me to provide something that will help you not only give you other benefits or perks, but will also help increase some of your privacy, because I don't have any desire to look at your stuff or sift through your stuff. So I'm also looking stuff that will be encryptable in simple. So whatever options there are, it's up to you, and I'm not going to like lock certain things down and lock certain people out. You have all the tools that you need to do that. And it's really providing an open service. There are some guidelines that I would suggest, but unless it's something illegal, there's really nothing that I have to worry about or that you should worry about. So if you've got any suggestions, you can leave a comment or join any of the chats or the Pleroma instance and let me know. So yeah, have a good one.